Yeah, Canley is one.
You trying to trigger me?
She's not whack. She's just unfair. She's unfair.
No.
Zero risk, dog.
Zach, shut the fuck up, man.
Well, are we on? Are we on? Yo, we on. Let's go, people. Right. Welcome. It's finally happening. Podcasting, Waistman's podcast. We did it. I've been chatting about it for long. Other people have been chatting about it, saying it's going to happen. They didn't even plan the whole thing, but we did it. So welcome all to is it the pilot? Do you call it the pilot when it's like the first one, like the first episode or something?
I think you call it throw shit, see if it sticks method, you know?
Yeah, pilot. So yeah, well, this is like the pilot thing. We're just testing the waters, you know, something that I've been interested in doing, but you know, due to being busy with university, I ain't got no time. But now, shout outs to the Rona, keeping everyone indoors. We can make it happen. You know, express that, you know, anything you want to do, whether that's learn a language or get good at video games or make a podcast. We're doing that thing.
I mean, so, to be fair, you said this like 4 years ago and you didn't do it then when you weren't in uni, but
I mean, this is a podcast, not like an exposure. Like, you don't have to You are my guest, and I'll kick you off. I'll kick your ass off. But anyway, no, speaking of guests, I want to introduce a couple of them. First is my boy Greavers, known this man since day. He's arguably the best fighting game player on earth that doesn't want to travel or he's broke.
I travel. I tried.
I mean, you went to Birmingham once.
I'm going to
press X to doubt.
Hey, look, I had my reasons. Okay, I definitely had my reasons.
But anyway, no, yeah, we got Greavers in the podcast, knowledgeable dude. You might see him in the Twitch chat every now and again, talking that good stuff. But it's not brash if you can back it up. And other dude on there is this guy's carried me in commentary when I was doing my first bit of commentary in Sodium. The man carries me, very knowledgeable dude. And to be fair, I haven't even spoken to him since, but I thought, hey, this guy can talk the good stuff, very knowledgeable. Carried me one time, I figured he can carry me again in the podcast format. So I want to welcome Bebop to the podcast.
Oh, stop it, you. God, hey. You only got a DM. You know, if the Rona wasn't about, we could have gone for food. You know, we didn't have to butter me up with a podcast. You know, didn't know you felt this way.
I'm getting invited for food or not. Jeez.
Yeah, you can come out. Yeah, we'll all go. When the Rona's done, we'll get some burritos on me.
Damn.
Burritos on you, boy. That's not remotely gonna happen. I ain't buying you shit. But yeah, no. But shout out to you guys for pulling through for this. So this podcast, it's a unique podcast, and it's a unique thing for one reason. So you got your podcasts that are full with the top players that are talking about their tournament wins. You got the podcasts that are talking about the games that they're making or the patches and stuff like that. This one's unique in the sense that we suck. We are the ones that go 0-2 in all the big tournaments. We are the ones that that drop the combos on a regular basis. We're the ones that might win a local weeklies to get £8 that use it to get a Big Mac meal come the end of the night. But we're those guys. We are the grassroots. We are the foundation of the FGC as it is today. If it wasn't for the guys that are going 0-2 at these big ass tournaments, there ain't no big ass tournaments. Am I right?
Yeah, you're basically.
Preach.
You are entirely right and all, but I definitely at least go 1-2.
I mean, 0-2, 1-2. I mean,
to be fair, I went 0-2 at VSF in Dragon Ball Fighters, so you know I got whacked.
Yeah, good times, bad times. I mean, who was Bebop? Was you at VSF?
I was. I went 3-2 in Tekken. Oh,
good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, because I didn't actually enter because I figured I don't really play the game. And the year before, I think I just came up against King and Panda, and I went 0-2, and I thought, I don't really want to pay like 30 quid to get waxed by some furries. So yeah, no, that was
King and Panda are very much blood in the water matches. If you don't know, that's it. Tournament life gone. Yeah.
None of my combos were working. My combos were just dropping on Bear, and then King was just yeeting me across the stage, and it wasn't fun.
I sat down against a King player, and he said, "Yo, you're Greavers, right?" Because my man YouTubed me in it. That was pretty spooky. And then he was playing King. He started wave dash, and I was like, "This is over, man." But I'll be honest with you, I tech like basically every throw, which is surprising for me because I can't use a tech. But he bodied me free. It's disgusting, honestly.
I do remember that. He seemed like a super nice guy as well. So when I saw that, I'm like, damn, he's in your head.
Yeah, that's the worst part. But they're super nice, and it's just like, damn, why is this guy such a nice guy, man? Why can't he just be a dick?
It's way easier when they're dicks. Way easier.
It was the first time he met Brad. That's why he was so nice. You know, he didn't know, he wasn't ready.
Oh,
Yeah, I
mean,
pull your leg.
I mean, yeah, just give it like a year or so, and you'll see the good stuff after. Like, but yeah, I want to get into how I want to do the podcast at the start. I want to speak about people's kind of how they entered the FGC, kind of their stories and how they came to be in the position where they're in the community. So I'll start off with Greavers, because I know I was a part of your origin story, because I know we used to play way back in the day, and then I told you about Waistman Weeklies, and then the rest is history. But talk me through your kind of involvement with the FGC, where you started and the journey as such.
yeah, way back. I'm actually surprised you didn't tell me about it beforehand, because I was, you told me about it, and I was like, oh, this is happening, and I was like, I didn't know how long you was going for before me or whatever, but I kind of, yeah, it was like back in like 2014, 15 maybe, back when I was like a little scrub, I guess, in Street Fighter Cross Tekken and like Ultra, and I didn't even know who I wanted to main in Ultra either. This is like back when I was having like a huge character crisis, and I was just playing ranked, and I was trying to find my main, but my way of deciding who my main was going to be basically was just playing ranked, and whoever I won the most with in ranked, I was just going to pick that character, which happened to be Relenso. Hey, everyone's favorite character. Hey.
S tier character.
So yeah, then I chose Relenso, and then I think I was playing online one time. He was like, "Yo, bro, why don't you just come offline sometime?" I was like, "What do you mean offline? What's this magical place you're talking about?" He was like, "Yo, come down to the lanes." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I come down there. I'm all nervous. I don't even know. I'm like, "Hey guys, is this the Viking tournament thing?" You know what I mean? I'm super scared, super nervous, all that sort of stuff. And then yeah, then I stepped into it. Played our boy Zirsty, local Vega, beat me 15-0.
Oh, wow, 15-0.
Yeah, he beat me like 15-0. I got bodied free, and then I went home, cried a little bit. I'll be honest with you, I was pretty upset, and then I came back the next week and bodied everyone. So
damn, that's crazy. I mean, that's really, I can totally believe that. To be fair, I do have vivid memories of you going 0-15 against Thirsty. I feel like I remember that.
I was getting waxed. Like it was literally like, and Xerxes as well. He's the kind of guy where like he talks to you and he's like really nice and stuff, which has made it even worse because I was getting bodied and I thought I was good, and also at the same time Xerxes is not the super cleanest player either. So like I didn't really, I was getting waxed by stuff, and I was like, I don't really feel like I should be losing this kind of stuff, but I just was, and yeah, I got body free, and then yeah, I guess that was sort of like my introduction to that. Was at least my first weekly. I got bodied, and then I came back the second week, and I started leveling up from then, and then became one of the gods of Bristol.
Tekken gods. But yeah, no, for sure. Like that was what year was that? Because so let me kind of intertwine like kind of my origin story into yours, and then obviously we're going to go into Bebop's as well, because I'm curious about kind of like how it ended, how it started in kind of like South Wales. But when it came to mine, it was me and Jordan, my good friend Jordan. Obviously, Brad, you know Jordan. Every couple of weekends, we get some pocket money from parents. We go into game or like Game Station. That's a throwback. If you know.
Damn, the OG tech. Yeah, damn. Like half the people listening, if there are people listening, are like, what the hell is a Game Station? Is like. Do they have Fortnite? It's like, bro.
I mean, if you know, you know. If you don't know Game Station, she's too young for you, bro. That's fact. But that, yeah, I mean, it was a good store. This was back in the day where we would just go in every few weekends and just get like a pre-owned game that we'd like play together. So normally it'd be like a co-op RPG or something. But one time we thought we'd get like a fighting game. If it was Cross Tekken, so we'll get Cross Tekken. Because
this is how we just because I'm pretty sure this is how we started talking, because I'm pretty sure I was playing Cross Tekken at the time. You was like, you're Brad, like when you come offline or whatever, because we were even talking about before that, because no one like Cross Tekken's never really been like I mean, it's been a big game in the scene in the FGC, like when it first came out and over like the first year or two for Evo and what's not. but it sort of died down a little bit because obviously the whole meme of Street Fighter cross timeout and all that sort of stuff. And the 2013 patch did make the game good, but everyone, the game was sort of dead at that point. But yeah,
it got. I think it's one of the first fighting games that generally got like memed to death. I think the memes generally killed it. I think the game itself.
Marvel Infinite had the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I haven't said Infinite, but I think the very first was like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, where it just got time out this, time out that.
Plus gems and also DLC, dislocked content.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, it really got the scrutiny that Cross Tekken got. Really, just like it got just removed from like kind of the main games in the FGC. But yeah, so me and Jordan was playing. We played Cross Tekken. We played Brad. We were terrible, I remember I played Kazuya, and Jordan would play. Who would Jordan play? I want to say like Guile or Ken or something. And we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just slapping buttons. And then I think Brad kind of had an idea, and he would just watch us. And then I clocked on to kind of some online videos of kind of fighting games. I think it was either, I can't remember which year it was a long time ago, but I realized that Cross Tekken wasn't the main game at the time. It was Street Fighter 4. So I thought, oh yeah, let's get on this one, Street Fighter 4. This is like the main one everyone's playing. So that's why I bought it. Originally played Balrog because it was like really easy. I was like, oh yeah, you just like walk backwards and then walk forward and punch. I mean, yeah, that's simple, right? So I kept doing that, actually grinded, came up with combos, came up to date with like how you're supposed to play the character, how you're supposed to play the game. And then I thought I was like quite decent, online. I get a few wins in it and that. And then we found out about Sodium Showdown. The name of this Twitch channel. This was Sodium Showdown 11 that we just came across on Facebook online. And we thought, yeah, we should attend. So me and Jordan attended. I was absolutely shitting myself when I entered. I did what Brad said. I was like, oh, is this the Sodium Showdown?
Yeah, literally.
And then Tia's are like, yeah, this is it. He's like, as I say this, there's actually about 20 like monitors around, just people playing fighting games. But I remember my first game was against Bebop. You might know Buttface.
Oh, damn!
You're Buttface?
Yeah, Buttface is the first person that I played in the offline setting. It was Sodium Showdown, which are bigger than the standard like weekly tournaments that go on in Bristol. So you're more likely to get like people from kind of around the UK that might come through. So I remember like I was playing on pad, of course, and then I remember trying to put in my pad, and I was shaking so much that I just couldn't get it in the USB bit. I was that nervous. I was so nervous. So I played Buttface. He absolutely slaps me. I've never seen like Dudley play like that in my life. I was like,
Dudley.
Yeah, I just got my shit mixed.
Yeah. Buttface's Dudley was definitely like, obviously Duff City wasn't a thing back then, but it was definitely Duff City. His Dudley was
Dudley.
Yeah, he had a hella strong Dudley. He was really sick to watch.
Yeah. Shout out to Buttface, man. He waxed me many a time back in the day. I think I went like 1 and 2, which I was quite happy with considering like obviously first offline setting. But yeah, that's when I kept on going. Waistman weeklies, time and time again. Went from pad to stick, from Balrog to Cody, and then the rest is history. I take the bragging rights as like the longest active member of Sodium Showdown. You can't count that away from me. That's the only accolade that I've got. I'm no longer a Bristol god. I'm ass. But anyway, moving on. Bebop. So tell me about the origin story for yourself.
Oh well. This may not come as a shock, but my origin starts a bit more recently, so what actually, because we've all played fighters at some point in our lives. If you're into games, like you'll casually play Street Fighter, whichever one, or if you're into your weeb stuff, you would have played like Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, whatever. So like I had a cash Street Fighter background because I got siblings, you know how it is. And then one day, obviously, I was like, rough period in my life. I thought, I need something to stay occupied. And I was on YouTube and I came across this glorious content, and it was called Mike and Gutex's Excellent Adventures. So fucking, and I was watching these two mates just having a great laugh and like getting good at fighting games. I was like, I want some of that. And so and unfortunately for me though, the hot game at the time was Street Fighter 5. It was season 2 had just started. Yeah,
that's quite recent. That's
yeah. Honestly, I haven't been in the scene as long as some people think I have, because like my age comes into it a bit, and like obviously, you know, being a more front member of my scene too as well. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but yeah. So like I haven't been in the scene very long at all. So obviously I picked up 5 for Christmas. Just came across so many online Akumas, and it was painful. You know, I was like, you know, and I went through the same thought process everyone trying to get good at. It's like, oh, if I had a stick, you know, these DPs be coming out and they wouldn't be getting their jump ins. You know, spoiler, that doesn't happen. Like it's you. It's not the controller. It's definitely you. So, you know, I went through the whole process of, you know, I found a player who played my character, you know, and then had a character crisis, a changed peripheral, and then, oh, maybe I need to practice more, and then do, you know, and go doing all this stuff. And then, like, you know, I stopped having fun with Street Fighter. But, like, eventually, you know, and then I played NRS stuff, and I played Injustice 2 a lot, and I got decent at it, like, on and on, like pretty much like, you know, like you and Brad saying, like, you know, you went online for your games, you like, yo, I'm kind of sick. You know, where's the offline at? And then eventually Tekken came out, and I was like, I ain't played Tekken in ages, but a 3D game would be nice. And it was just love at first sight. Like, I fell in love with the game straight away. I watched Tekken 7 launch tournament in the UK. It was sick. Watched the whole thing. You know, watched Kane and Trench beat Fergus in grand finals with a suicide, which was just hype. And I was like, yo, get me in. Like, this is awesome. So I eventually picked it up, and, you know, about 6 months go by playing the game. And then I thought, you know, I need a scene. And this is going to sound crazy, but I actually found you guys first because, you know, doing Google Foo and going on Reddit, and I'm trying to find a scene that was closest to me. And everyone was like, oh, SMBF, because I know it's a joint Wales-Bristol venture. So I thought, oh, yo, that sounds kind of sick. You know, and I was going to go to, I can't remember which year it was, but it was going to be the final Waistmans of the year in December. Like, you know, you have like the big bash at the lanes. Like, yeah, I was going to go one then, but then we had snow. So I thought, oh, I ain't driving in the snow to go all the way up to Bristol, you know, for something I might not like. So I changed my mind. But then you guys actually helped out TSG. You've posted out Combo Clubhouse on your page. And I thought, yo, that's in Cardiff. That's kind of sick. So then, like, indirectly, you guys helped me find my scene. So then I went down to TSG then, and, like, you know, obligatory, same as you, same as everyone who joins the FGC. You know, you walk past the venue, you're like, right, okay, just grow a set and go in, they're all the same. And then you walk, you see people just like smashing buttons, like, oh my God, we're not the same. And then the classic going up to the counter of, yo, I'm here for the tournament. Is this it? And like, you know, and this Dragon Ball in the background, for Christ's sake. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. And the first guy I met there was Bear, the TO, and he was a fab guy, Bear. He was awesome. He was really good to us down there, some of us OGs. And like, not that I'm an OG, but whatever. And then that was it. Like, I entered the monthly, then played Tekken, and then the guys are like, Tekken wasn't a thing yet. But you know, people like Breeze, Savinis, and Atonement, they taught me how to play Street Fighter 5. So then the ball's rolling, and then I had a local to go to, and I didn't care. Like, I was playing Street Fighter 5, but I had like a scene, and that was it, and it was awesome. And then eventually, we don't know how, but like people just started turning up to play games, and people were asking about Tekken. And then eventually I was like, yes, let's do it. So like, you know, I asked Bear, I was like, we ever going to do a weeklies for Tekken? Because, you know, people are playing the damn game. And eventually they did. And it wasn't very successful to begin with. But then eventually the ball just started rolling. And then we got, like, as you guys know, we got a few players now. And that was it. And then eventually somehow Bernie and I ended up at the steering wheel. And to this day, we still a bit like, how, like, it's because we were just the oldest guys in the room, honestly. It's like no one else wanted it. It's like, oh, just give it to these two mongoloids. And
I think it's sort of similar of our scene, to be honest. A lot, because obviously a lot of people who used to lead our weeklies sort of, I don't want to say abandoned or, you know, sort of jumped ship or whatever, but they fell out of the scene, and then other people sort of took the reins, you know. I mean, I don't remember how many years ago. Probably around the end of SF4, right? I guess it's sort of like it's just basically like a new generation. The old generation fell out, and then the new generation came in, and now we got a whole bunch of new TOs and stuff like that. But yeah, you said about obviously Tekken sort of didn't have the player base sort of where your locals, if that were. I guess it's kind of the same everywhere because obviously Tekken wasn't really that big of a game, so to speak, in the FGC in general. But in the UK, in some places, well, especially like where we are, it wasn't so big here at all up until maybe like season. Maybe like I'm not sure what season or whatever. But like Street Fighter 5 sort of started falling out of love with everyone. Like maybe season 2, season 3.
Yeah. Season 2, yeah, for sure. Around season 2, season 3. This whenever Abigail came in, that's when it was that's when it was wild. That was when it was wild. That's when I fell out of love with it. I think this game is just not me. I'm not gonna say it's whack. I'm not gonna say it's got garbage because that's obviously just subjective. But for me,
the game's whack.
Abigail single-handedly killed the Street Fighter scene.
Oh, for sure. No, dead ass. For me, like Abigail, it was just like too much. I was like it's just ridiculous. And just like
don't have players turn up for anymore. We literally don't run tournaments for it anymore. We don't have anyone turning up for it anymore. Like literally, no one no one cares about the game anymore. I mean, like it's sort of been like that for a while. We've all been hating it, but we're just playing it. You know, it's just sort of the FGC in a nutshell, right? This game sucks, but you keep going back to it. But now it's just.
Which is unfortunate, I love me some Street Fighter now. Street Fighter is what brought me in. It's just a shame because obviously think of all the hours that me and Brad could both say we put hours into that beta. Street Fighter 5 beta, we grinded that.
Me and Ali fighting for first and second on the leaderboard.
Yeah, literally.
My map was cheating by Raven.
It's just that, but it's just sad that it went from I was loving it with the beta, loving it, and it's just like within a couple of seasons, it's just like it must be maybe it's true. The true colors of the game really showed. It just wasn't for me. But I've got to say, when Tekken was coming out, because like Brad said, Tekken wasn't really a thing before Tekken 7 at Waistman, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm pretty sure Tekken 6 was pretty terrible, right? Because was it just Bob?
If you weren't playing Bob or Lars, you were pretty much underhanded from what I've been told. Like, because my Tekken 6 background is kind of weak. Like, I casually played it on the 360. Like that's how far back I gotta go.
I casually played Lars back in the day. I didn't even know what top tiers were even when I was playing it. To be fair.
Yeah, no, Lars, Miguel, Bob. Basically, if they had movement and reach, that was it. Game over. But Tekken definitely was, and up until recently. It's always been considered like niche in what is already like a niche hobby because there's not because obviously fighting games and like esports in general it's on the rise now. But Christ, when think back to 10 years ago when we were like much younger, like playing games like a lot more, and then you think what things gonna be like COD 4 is pretty sick. I'm gonna do it professional, bruv. You don't think of like I just remember thinking, how do you get into it? How does it even happen? There was nothing. I can't speak for you guys, but like in Wales, there was nothing. Like you had to find some seedy netcaf to like try and get some games, and even then, it wasn't well publicized, and they weren't run very well either. Yeah, they just glorified LAN parties. It was like
for sure. But I gotta say, when Tekken 7 was coming out, and I was like, I'm a bit curious now. Never played Tekken in my life. Nothing 3D. I have no idea like what to expect. But when I bought that and I launched in and I went into training mode and I went into Infinite Azure, I was like, wow, this game is gonna be sick. I was like, so I mean, yeah, I've not been hyped for a game like before Tekken 7. I wasn't particularly hyped for like new games, but when Tekken 7 dropped, that was like the next phase of like the FGC for me. Only problem is Tekken's quite hard to get into. If you've not been playing that shit for 3 to 5 years, you might be struggling, bruh. That's my opinion. Very, very legacy based game. Everything's been the same for a long, long time, and the longer you've been in it, kind of like the more advantage you have, in my opinion.
But it's like the old thing, isn't it, where people say like, is Tekken a hard game to get into? Is like, bro, you need execution to move, but forget doing damage. Like, if you can't move right, you're already on the back foot.
I mean, I personally, because obviously I came in second sort of way later because this was a period in my FGC lifespan where I was having a hiatus from Waistman. I had like a year, maybe like a year and a half where I wasn't turning up anymore. Or if I was there for a very short period of time, locals and whatnot. So when Tekken first came out, I wasn't even playing the game for like the first year or so, maybe. So I came into it super late, and I had to catch up with everyone because everyone was already godlike already. And I was like, oh, holy crap, who do I play? Like, what do I do? I'm so lost, sort of thing. But because I guess I'm just very I have a good brain, and I can just pick things up very quickly and learn things very quickly, and my execution style is super good anyways. So for me, learning Tekken, it didn't take too long, and obviously that's not going to be the same case for most players of that. But I think just like if you're able to just pinpoint and just like put things into certain categories and just narrow it all down, I don't think Tekken's really that hard, because realistically, like combos are super easy, right? So like you don't have to worry about practicing combos, so to speak. So all it is really is just execution. It's just like execution in KBD and maybe some sidestepping here and there. And most of the things in Tekken, like legacy wise and matchup wise and stuff like that, you just learn by playing the game, right? It's not you can sit in a lab learning it, but it's easier if you just play the game. You play against a character, you get bodied by something, then you go, oh, how do I beat that? And then you go in the lab and then practice against it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure, I do want to. If should this podcast actually go quite well, and there might be an episode 2, maybe watch this space. That is an episode that I do want to kind of concentrate on. It's kind of like how people kind of how to get good at FGC, and you kind of like the constraints with it, kind of like the struggles. How hard you got to push yourself, because when it comes to learning fighting games, you got to take hella L's. You have to have kind of thick skin to take those L's and keep going. So I do want to do an episode just primarily on that. Now with this,
there's also just the fact that people have different styles. Right, some people some people play by feel. Some people are kind of like me, where they sit in a lab for hours and hours learning option selects and learning how to step this and how to step that and how to do all these kind of things. There's different archetypes, and I guess when you're learning fighting games, you kind of need to maybe find your archetype, or at least find your style of how you play fight. Like, are you rush down? Are you lame? Like, are you sort of all of them? You have to just find your archetypes and really go from there.
Nah, just pick a stance, bro. Just pick a stance.
Yeah, or to pick a top tier.
Just pick a top tier. I'm all about pick a top tier.
Pick a top tier. Now, what I do want to get into, because as I said, this is a conversation I do want to have for another day, for another episode for sure. But what I do want to talk about is the elephant in the room, the virus in the room, or preferably the virus not in the room. I hope.
Hopefully not.
The big Rona, the big 19. It's serious. I hope everyone in this thing is self-isolating, is not going outside, doing.
Hope you're staying in the lab.
Yeah, literally. No Rona in the lab.
Key worker. Woohoo! No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I mean, shout out to the key workers for it.
Definitely.
My mum being one of them. She's going out fighting the good fight.
Nah, heroes, man, heroes.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to incorporate kind of the whole Rona situation along with the FGC and kind of how it's made effects. The effects have been detrimental. It goes without saying. A lot of events being cancelled, postponed, are delayed. I've got a list here. I mean, the list goes on. It's a pretty big list of.
It's pretty easy to say the ones that haven't been cancelled.
Yeah, literally. I mean, we've already seen recently from Tekken World Tour 2020. We're seeing loads of adjustments for upcoming tournaments from kind of the end of April to the end of June, from like Tekken Round Pro 9 in Colombia all the way to a tournament in Ivory Coast.
Which tournament in the Ivory Coast happens, because that'd be super cool, right? Yeah, I've actually heard there's a super. I saw on the main man's YouTube, but apparently there's some godlike Ivory Coast player. I don't remember what character. I think he played Lei or something like that. He was a super godlike Lei player from Ivory Coast.
He beat Jimmy J in Evo. He knocked him out of the tournament. He's hella clean. Like, serious. Guy, like, the thing is, because the video I saw of him playing, it wasn't even like one of those, like those clickbaity videos, like, oh my god, is this the new king of Iron Fit and all this? It was just some wasteman in the crowd just cheering his boy on, recording the game. But the guy was clean. He was sick.
Hella clean. It's whiff, but like he was like going into stance and things were whiffing by like an inch, and he was punished. It's crazy.
Oh, he's definitely character expert. He knows Lei, because the thing is, like, because like, without bragging, I've been playing Lei for quite a while, and I like to think I know the character, but there's situations that I still am a bit like, I have no idea what the hell is gonna happen, because when you play, because like Brad, you've played an erratic character. Relento can be a bit janky on screen as well, so you end up in situations where, like, I have no idea how this is gonna work. This isn't a situation I'm prepared for. But like watching, because I believe his name was Orange. I can't rightfully remember. Apologies. It's been some time since I saw the
That
vid.
does ring a bell. Then I think it's on the right lines of the name. Yeah, I think that's like Orange something. I think you're right. Yeah.
He's but he was sick. Like his punishment was like, and the thing is, you got to remember he was fighting Brian, and Brian's a really tough matchup for Lay because like all Brian's got to do is initiate his pressure, and then once he's got life, he just play keep out, and that's all he's got to do. But bruh, like, because what I liked most about watching Senor Orange play was he knew exactly when to swap, because a lot of problems you find with Lay players is like, because Lay has got he's a utility box, he's a toolbox. He's got every tool. They're just not very good. It's how you apply them. And like he was very much showing the aspect of being a character expert. Like, he knew when to use Aha Step. He knew when to use Aha Turn. He knew what stance to use at right time. If he had to play clean with just punishment, playing lame, he did it. If he did keep out, he did it. It was just solid play, like, and and unfortunately, like, with like the smaller aspects of COVID-19's effect is, these like godlike players like who are hoping to get themselves out there at these like small, intermediate, big events, they're not going to have that chance now.
That's the big thing. Yeah, that's the big thing. I think the beauty of the World Tour is that it will give opportunities for kind of unsung heroes and nations and regions that are slept on to really show their stuff. I mean, that's what happened with Pakistan like a few years ago.
I was about to say, literally, it's just Pakistan. I mean, they've came completely out of the woodwork. So no one knew who they were or whatever beforehand, and everyone now knows they're on the map as one of the strongest regions. They've got the John, they've obviously got Arslan, they've got Bilal, who won he won the qualifier, right, for Second World Tour. They've got
Weiss Honey.
They got like I know the thing is they all play efficient top tiers. That's what I love about them. They all play the godlike top tiers.
Yeah,
but I didn't notice as well. It's not even just cold-blooded efficiency. They're just crazy. They're like you guys must have seen it. I saw an Akuma back turn setup where he used Tatsu to time the dude out. I was like, what the hell is this?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That's something you don't practice, bro. What the hell? It's like.
And to be fair, as a region, I've never seen players take as long button checks as the guys from Pakistan.
Oh yeah, they like run a whole like game basically.
They play a whole game. Yeah, they play like majority, if not the whole game, just as button check.
That's just the thing they do, I guess that's just like the thing they do over there, and because they're new to tournaments, a lot of times they don't really realize that we're trying to like we're trying to get it going quick and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, literally. But now they're godlike, and like I say, that's the whole point. That's kind of like the beauty of the World Tour. But unfortunately, with the whole COVID-19 situation, we're seeing a lot of cancellations, a lot of delays. One tournament in particular that I was quite sad about its cancelling was Combo Breaker. That's a
of course,
a favorite, a favorite of mine. Probably, yeah, for me the best FGC tournament that goes on in the air, in my opinion.
Obviously, if I could go, I probably would go to Combo Breaker. It's between like Combo Breaker, CEO, and obviously Evo. I mean, Evo is obviously one of the ones up there, but CEO or Combo Breaker.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, do you think, do you guys get worried that some of these events just won't make the bounce back because of the loss of there's a loss of revenue at the end of the day?
Yeah. I mean that's kind of the main issue, because obviously TOs and kind of venues are kind of losing their money. I mean, I know obviously government has things in place regarding kind of loss of earnings and revenue and stuff like that. But yeah, you got a question, because people are going to be thinking, oh, don't worry, 2021 is going to be like the big year. Everyone's going to bounce back. It's going to be like hype. It's going to be lit. Tournaments are going to be crazy. But you do wonder, like, we don't see kind of the damage that the cancellations have done, that the virus has done for these events. So it's just a matter of a waiting game, I suppose. I mean, we can only hope that they weren't affected too hard financially. But at the end of the day, these are big tournaments, big venues that are getting booked up and then kind of just cancelled due to unforeseen circumstances.
I think the smaller tournaments maybe won't. Some of the tournaments you haven't heard of before that were maybe on the tour and stuff like that maybe won't come back. But I think a lot of the bigger tournaments will probably be okay. I know Combo Breaker is run by, is it Rick Tejado?
Rick Tejado,
yeah. Yeah, I know he's been saying on Twitter and stuff like that, he's super thankful for because a lot of people who actually bought the tickets aren't asking for refunds and stuff like that, right? They're not asking for refunds, and they're still buying merch and stuff like that, right? So he might not make his money back. He might he might not make all his money back and stuff like that, but he's at least making some money back so he can, prepare himself for next year and all that sort of stuff, right? So he's fortunate that he can have the community supporting him in that way. But some of these smaller tournaments that maybe aren't, obviously aren't as big as Combo Breaker, don't have all these outlets for merch and don't have, thousands of people perhaps turning up and all these entrants. I feel like they might fizzle out. Sadly, but
you'd hope not. You'd hope not, but like you said, you don't really know kind of like how hard these events are being hit. I'd like to take this opportunity for everyone to pray in the chat for VSF.
Oh yeah, shout.
Hasn't been cancelled yet. Hasn't been cancelled yet. So
is it mid-August? I believe mid-August.
End of August, I thought. End of
August. So yeah, so it's still got time. I know this COVID-19 situation could blow over around then. What are people's predictions? Like, being realistic, what do you guys think? Are we going to see?
I think even if VSF goes ahead, I think the player count will be small. Like, because I think people will still be nervous regardless. Like, even if all the restrictions are lifted, there's no guarantee people will still be allowed to travel. And if they do travel, do people want to travel? People are going to be low on money. Some people are at work at the moment. There's actually sick pay. But so there's other long-term effects and other things going on in the wings that we might not be privy to, that it's the ripple effect, isn't it? Like, obviously COVID happens, and like, because right now it's easy to think the lockdown, you can't go to events, so like that's going to hurt them, yeah, for sure, but it's the long-term effects, isn't it? Because like, some people are really struggling financially, at the moment, and some people just, you can't blame them. Some people just want to survive at the end of the day, and that means like staying at home and like taking every precaution. Yeah, definitely. Because I'd be lying if I said I didn't think that, because, I love VSF down to the ground. It's like the best event I've been to, because it's law whenever you go for a couple of days. It's a great laugh. It's awesome to hang out with homies. But like this year, even if it does run, I was thinking of giving it a miss, with everything going on.
Yeah, no.
I'll be honest. I don't think tournaments this year will run, perhaps, period, because even when this COVID situation even finishes up and sort of starts clearing up here in the UK, which might take like upwards of 4 to 5 months, we still have to think about other countries when their issues sort out, right?
Of course.
And even then it becomes an issue of like international people flying from one country to another when we start opening our borders up and stuff like that, right? So I feel like this whole thing's probably going to take maybe 5 to 6 months at least to clear up. I feel like all tournaments this year will probably just go down the drain, and then we're take a reset for next year. I genuinely think that's probably how it's gonna. I hope it doesn't. I really don't. I'm actually really sad that we haven't seen tournaments yet, because obviously Grand Blues just come out. I want to see tournaments in that. Tekken new seasons come out. I want to see tournaments in these games, but it's not possible currently for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah, of course. And the thing is, even I know, like, I've been watching these kind of these updates from like the government, health government, blah blah blah, what their plans are and stuff. And I think it was yesterday they did mention like, what's called like the return to normal kind of procedure. I would have thought that even if things start reopening and the public can start going out again, they're still going to be slow when it comes to big venues and big groups kind of coming together.
Well, yeah, so, I mean, like, and especially internationals, right? Because even if we say it's okay that we can have hundreds of people together, that doesn't mean people in France will be the same, or Spain, or Korea, or Japan, or America. It's all specific to each.
Hello, Brad.
Ooh, yeah.
I
thought he died. I was like, well, this is a great pilot. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, you can't, like, baby. You're back. You're good. You're back.
Oh boy. I mean, I was saying, yeah, it's all specific to each region. It's all specific to each region.
Yeah, of course. And but talking about, like, because you were saying, Brad, obviously that there's no tournaments because obviously Grand Blue's out. There's people trying to get into the game because as when a new game comes out, it lives and dies on its tournament appearance. Yeah. But there is tournament appearance, but it's online tournaments.
Yeah, that's facts. So all the times we've been bashing online play, online net play, do we owe net play an apology?
No.
Right. It's a very complicated, right? I'll be honest. My take on it is, do we owe an apology? No. like that's the short answer. Do we owe it an apology? Long answer, yes, but that's because, like, you know, at the end of the day, if we didn't have net play, we couldn't play, hands down. Like,
yeah, for sure. Like that play is fine to play people and flat, but as a
tournament standard, hell no, exactly. Like, this is the problem. Like, you know, like, look at Wi-Fi, you know, like the Wi-Fi weeklies, shout out, you know, I'm just saying, every Sunday, tune in on this channel, Wi-Fi tournaments, bro. Like, you know, it was a crazy tournament, and like, it was weird because, like, you know, in the Waistmans, you see the same names hit top 4 like all the time. Like, you can pretty much see how the bracket's going to turn out before the tournaments even run. But, like, damn, the last 2 weeks, I feel like, bro, who's playing Scrabble on the bracket?
Yeah, basically.
It's mad, like, you know, because, like, I'm not calling anyone out for being, like, you know, bad or anything, because, like, everyone's hella good. Everyone's been playing the game for a long time.
Actually, wait. Hold that thought.
Oh my goodness!
I would like to highlight that one point of this podcast. Blow-ups are essential for this podcast.
Do we blow people up? We put them on blast?
We are not child friendly. I mean, we can be a bit child.
Whoa!
This is not a blow-up free zone. This is blow-ups are essential. This is a blow-up space.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about Grand Blue, I'll put everyone on blast.
So Bebop, you were saying, feel free to call out whoever you want.
No, I ain't gonna call out anyone individually, but there were some players, like, because, you know, there's certain matchups, like, I ain't gonna lie, right? So, like, I saw Ezel and Drango, right? And, like, we've seen this matchup a million times, and, like, Drango, you know I love you, bro. So before you type to ban me in the Discord,
oh no,
like, you know. Like, you know, we know how the matchup goes. Zool knows the matchup. He knows how to deal with Eddie. He knows Drango as a person and a player. So 9 times out of 10, you know, the game goes to Zool. But I ain't gonna lie, you know, Drango was convincing, bro. Like, it was hella convincing.
Drango, he pulled it out.
He ran the gauntlet. He ran the gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, Drango was hella convincing, but I felt like, you know, there might have been some wiggling of the Wi-Fi cable, but, you know, actually, I didn't think there was any wiggling of the Wi-Fi cable. Well, not the Wi-Fi cable. I didn't think the man has a cable. I think he's just
how do you have a Wi-Fi cable?
Hey, look, my man was just wiggling the box.
If they got Wi-Fi, they throw shoes at the router. Come on, bro. That's how it works.
Literally.
Push the pencil in at the back, you know, reset
they throw Grand Sims at it.
No, that is destroying the whole thing. That is destroying the whole thing. But now that's the thing. At the end of the day, you gotta play in whatever conditions are available. If there's a laggy match, you just gotta say, hey man, it's a bit laggy, but you gotta hold that. It's laggy for both players. They're in the same condition. Of course. You gotta hold that. And on Sunday, Drango came through, facing almost elimination for second place against Pero, who went 2-0 up and completely washed him, just like 6 games straight after that.
Yeah, Pero was on match point, then just complete reverse sweep, just gone. But you know, like, and that's it. Like, you know, you've seen Hold Nails, like, that's true, because, you know, we've all been to a local, or like even in VSF, we've all had that game where we pulled it out. We somehow, like, you're up against, you know, someone who's like big in your local, or you know they exist in the community. We've all played that person. And you think, there's no way this is gonna go my way. I gotta pull out the bag. And you do, and then you feel like, you're like, yes, I'm not free. I always knew it. But you hear about that person, then go, yo, that setup is laggy, man. It's like, bro, you can't be taking my thunder. It's like, what's going on?
But everyone's got S's, right?
Yeah, like, the point I'm trying to make is, like, you know, it doesn't matter on what platform you play, there will always be something. You know, like when they held that, they held a Tekken tournament in Korea 2 years ago, and it was curved monitors. So straight away there was upsets, and all the pros are saying, "Oh, bro, I can't play on a curved monitor." You know, it's like, in fairness, you know, there's a bit more input lag, sure, but you know, they you know, their opponent was on a curved monitor too, bro. You know, it's
I mean, if it was one way, then yeah, sure. But if it's, especially once again, when it's online, it happens. The lag, unless it's Street Fighter 5, you know, the lag can be one-sided. But typically in games, the lag happens for both players, so you can't really complain.
I mean, I'm not sure why you would even. I mean, there must, unless there's like, maybe it's a sponsored reason where maybe they sponsored the tournament. But why would you do a tournament with curved monitors?
I think it was a sponsored deal.
Yeah, if it's a sponsored, then sponsored, that makes sense. But if you've made a conscious decision to put them there, then kind of what
yeah. But you know, malfunctions happen even with good kit. Like, you know, in the Masters tournament 2 years ago as well. You know, it was Yamasa versus the UIU boys. Obviously, Low High coming off his Evo win, steps up to the plate. He was playing against it wasn't Nobi, it was his teammate Take, I believe it was. And bro, like Low High's cabinet just went. The screen goes. Like the screen goes, and like Low High just puts his hands up, like, bro, what the hell? You know, like, so even like, you know, in an off like this, you know, most people argue that kind of setup was pure. That was pure skilled competition. Two guys, same skill, high level play, grand finals, like double Luigi on cabs. You know, that you can't get more offline than that. You can't get that is pure competition. And there was still outside factors, bro. It's like, you know, sometimes like, you know, like you said, you got to hold RL. And then no one was happy, you know, like, because Take's like, yo, I beat my tournament demon. And then Low High's like, you know, my cabinet went. And then, then no one was happy, you know, it killed it. And that was just circumstance.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, online, you know, it didn't even come into it. So, but, you know, because I think online does get a lot of stick. Some of it is deserved. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
You know, some of the guys in my scene, they know right now I've got a really toxic relationship with online tech, but you know, at the end of the day, I think everyone does, just online play in general. But you know, it's at the end of the day, it's still a way to play with your homies. You can still develop playing online. You can still communicate.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like playing people, you know, I don't really have an issue. But I think it's like when you want to place like some ranked, and you're like, oh, let me play some rank. Let me get my rank up a couple, and then you just come into just some wacky ass players plus the lag, and it's all just like that's when the salt really flows for me.
Well, it's also that, but plus just the fact that, you know, the whole online player tag, right? So if it's, you know, people who play exclusively online play a specific way, because you know, if you play that person offline, you have some time to adjust, and you can see certain things that you can't see online, and you can duck this and you can low parry that, etc. But you can't do that online, and this person lives and thrives in the online environment, and you are at a disadvantage because of that, because you play offline.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, the main thing about online is like, I feel like online, like you said, Shaq, is okay to play with your friends, blah blah blah. But the issue is, like, online tournaments are fine once again if you're playing with locals and stuff like that. But say we wanted to run like a offline tournament for, I don't know, maybe just the south of England, stuff like that, right? The connections are going to be abysmal against certain players. You know it's going to be. So we can't run tournaments with certain regions or from region to region, because you know the connections are going to be absolutely dreadful. So you're forced to like close off areas and play in certain local regions.
Yeah. After that, I think Jack S.D., you know, one of the CEOs for Waistman, he said that those exact words, that, you know, we do want to keep it within kind of Bristol, South Wales, purely because mainly for connectivity reasons. Like you don't want to come in with some random kind of one bars from maybe up north or east or whatever, because that'd just be too much hassle. It might kill the tournament, you know. But this is what we have to work with. So yeah, online is kind of booky sometimes, but this is kind of all we have for now.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to lead to as well. The issue is, this shouldn't be an issue. That we shouldn't still be in 2020 where we still have these fighting games with really bad netcode. And I'm going to go into Grand Blue and talk about that a little bit. But like, the fact that the game says that there's 2 delay, and you know for a fact that is not 2 delay. I don't even know the game. I don't know what's happening with Grand Blue's netcode. Netcode's mostly fine. It's mostly okay and what's not. But the fact the game says to you there's like 1 to 2 to 3 frame delay, and it feels like you're playing underwater, and like 6 to 7 delay. I don't get it at all. Like,
I know it takes 2.5 games for a 2H to come out. You know?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Grand Blue. I mean, Grand Blue's dropped. It didn't drop that long ago. We're seeing a lot of popularity with it. I mean, in our scene, it's getting a lot of popularity. I don't know about the Wales to South Wales community.
Yeah, there's a lot of interest. Like, you know, Pero kind of he steam headed it because he's our anime aficionado.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, you know, like I had the calling of 2D, you know, that dark place. So, you know, I started playing, and the game's fun, man. Serious. Like, yeah, the netcode, like, I think all in all, it's a 7 out of 10. It does the job. I've been happy with it most times. You know, but there is the odd bit of like, you know, there's no way this is 4 bars, bro. Like, you know,
sure.
like reevaluate this.
When it's working, it's fine, but like there's a countless times where you're playing against someone, and especially certain characters where you really need to be like on point, like Lancelot, right? You need to be on point against that character.
Yeah.
And when it says it's 2-frame delay and you know it's not, then it becomes frustrating, and then you start doubting your reactions and you start doubting yourself and you start playing badly because you know what I mean, these are outside factors that would never happen offline, but you have like it's kind of weird. You have to have these extra you need to have these extra abilities in your like, you know, your kit to be able to play, which is so strange, but that's what we have to get used to, I guess. You know.
I mean, this is all we got until further notice.
But no, Granblue seems to be taking off pretty well. For the most part, in terms of popularity, in terms of people getting involved. I'd love to get involved personally, but my computer's kind of ass. It likes to crash. I did buy the game, but then I played it for a couple hours and then it crashed. And I'm like, I'm just going to refund it. I'm not paying 50 quid for a game that might not even run properly. So I'm going to wait until I go back to uni, whenever the hell that is. I'm to play on PlayStation, I think. But
yeah, I mean, I'm one of the like 3 players on the planet who apparently plays on PS4. So I didn't really get to play anyone at Waistman's. They all play on PC, but everyone who plays on PC sucks anyway. So if anyone wants to play Granblue and get good, then buy it on PS4 and play me, and I can lab you up and we can get godlike. Well, I mean, I'm already godlike, but I can get you godlike.
Oh my god! It's like LTG's in the podcast, bro.
But LTG sucks though. Brad's actually good. Like, it's not in the words of Nova. Finish that. Brad, finish it.
No, it's not even fair.
It's not even fair. It's not. And is it Hawkeye? It's not brash if you can back it up.
I actually live by that, man.
It's not brash if you can back it up.
Yeah, you're not brash if you can back it up. Yeah,
And I'm looking forward when the dust settles and the Rona is no more. I'm looking forward to seeing, because this is the time to grind. This is the time to get good.
Like, I mean, definitely.
Like you got no work, no uni. Well, I said, well, you do my uni assignments. I got a whole lot. But if you're at home, not much going on, get in the lab and grind that shit, man. I mean, there are no excuses now.
Like the best thing about Granblue is like it's easy to get into, but it's complex, and I think that's what like a lot of players want in it. Like they don't know that's what they want, but that is what they need, because like you can get into it. Like there's not that many characters, so it's not like playing Marvel or Tekken. You know, it's like, oh crap, who out of like 1,000 characters do I pick? You've legitimately got about like 10, 12 characters, and you just pick, oh, do I want to be a buff grappler? Do I want to be edgelord? Do I want to be a waifu? Do I want to be the weeb? You know, it's all there. It's so simple. But like the game itself has hella good depth. Like there's actually defensive tools with risk reward, which is nice because you got spot, dodge, roll, each with their own counters to it. The majority of the cast have true DPs. They're invincible on wake up. You know, everyone has a form of invincible. You know, anti-airing is probably easy in the game, I would say, compared to most fighters.
It can be. There's some situations where anti-airing can be a bit rough, because obviously the game has super jumps and also run super jumps and also run jumps. So the game has momentum. So when you're doing certain things, it can alter your jumps, and it can make it awkward to anti-air for certain characters, because obviously Gran and like Catalina and now Jita, they all have cross-ups that are super good, right? So some characters struggle with dealing with cross-ups. Well, Percival and Versailles were the characters beforehand, but I think the anti-airs just got buffed. I think the anti-airs deal better with cross-ups now than they did before. But yeah, I mean, just anti-airing's like anti-airing's pretty easy for like most characters, and also anti-airing leads to a ton of damage, so you don't really want to jump too much, anyways. Like I think of Granblue as basically just Street Fighter Alpha. It's just like a Street Fighter game. It's super grinded. It's super footsies based, just with occasional bit of anime nut in there. You know, it's a bit crazy. It's a bit wild that here and there. You know, Granblue Lance's Gorilla Blade, and actually, I'm not even gonna start listing like dumb moves, but yeah, the game has a bunch of dumb moves that if you play Granblue, you already know what I'm talking about.
Like I will say though, the conversion damage you can get in that game is ludicrous. Like you can anti-air someone with like a close light, and you can still do them for half their bar. Is ludicrous.
That's the only thing that doesn't look. The only thing that looks like, well, one of the things that don't look hard is just the 60%. like combos. It's like, oh, I just whiff punish, eat this 60-70%.
Yeah, but the thing is, for sure, is that simple. But you also have to take in consideration you have to have the person in the corner. You also have to get the whiff punish, and you know what I mean. It's easy, but if you're playing it someone good, you're not just gonna whiff punish and have them they're back to the corner and have all your resources. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of like things that come into it as well. It's easy to just say like, yeah, you just whiff punish for free and blah 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 blah. But like, if you're playing against good players, they're not going to get hit with a counter hit overhead. They're not going to get hit with like these frame traps. They're not going to get hit by these whiff punishes. Or if they are, it's gonna be a limited amount of times compared to like other players, right?
Yeah, I mean that's all about obviously that's when it comes to the whole kind of skill cap thing. I mean, from the footage that I've seen, it's just a matter of maybe one combo and then a couple normals, and then your back's in the corner, right?
Depending on the character. I mean, if you're playing like Gran or something, it's basically you get hit once and you're like Gran's corner carry is super, super, super high. Like Catalina and Gran's corner carry is super high. Lancelot's corner carry is okay, I guess, but usually goes into Rekos and he gets safe pressure after anyways. Yeah, I mean, the stages aren't too long, so you typically do get to the corners quite easily, but there's a lot of options to get out of the corners. Once again, spot dodge, you got roll, you can jump out of a lot of things, you can counter, you can press buttons and try and stop him from running in. You can, you know, what I mean, you have options. It's not like you're back. It's not like, for example, Street Fighter 5. It's not like you're in the corner and you just feel like you have no option to get out. You know,
yeah, for sure.
Options.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, definitely got options. I mean, especially with like Street Fighter 5 when you're trying to get a normal out, kind of try and defend yourself, and then like crush counter into like
the Sonic rings come out.
Yeah, trust. So yeah, so for sure, it's got depth in terms of offense and defense. It's got some nice mechanics, like you said. It's got that simplicity, but like a relatively high skill cap, so you can develop. I'm looking forward to playing it. We saw a patch. Was it today? Yesterday?
Patch
notes came out yesterday. Yeah,
yesterday. Yeah, it's just about. It was mainly just a few fixes and a couple of changes. Nothing too crazy. We saw the Holy Trinity get untouched.
Well, yeah, it's a quality of life patch. It's not really. It's not a balance patch. They've already confirmed they're going to be doing a balance patch later this month, which I imagine comes out with Zooey, or I guess her name's Zooey because it's 2 O's, right? It's Zooey rather than Zoe.
Gender bend Gran.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, Jita and Soras are actually out. I was literally playing them last night. I was up until 7 o'clock this morning playing Jita, and I was grinding the hell out of them. And they're very super cool. But yeah, it is more just addressing a few issues that characters have. For example, like Percival, Versaraga, and Zeta's 2Hs all having hurt boxes that extend really high up in the startup of the move, so you usually get hit before the move even like actually has an active hitbox, which is super stupid, right?
Got me killed a couple of times. I ain't gonna lie.
So they've addressed those issues now. So I mean, those characters, and also, well, I mean, Zeta got a bunch of buffs. They've reduced recovery across the board, and like
Zeta's got neutral now.
Zeta, bear man playing Zeta now.
And also, Zeta was already top tier.
I don't know about that.
Zeta was already. Zeta's been.
Her conversions were great, like, because she's basically Balrog. Like, you know, if she hits you, you're in the corner. Like, and that was great. And she's got a safe jump, and then she can bait DPs, and then she's got a mix off the safe jump. So in the corner, yeah, I would say she was top tier. But get in the corner, bro. If you're up against someone who could play, like, you almost never got it. Like, especially with the 2H.
Problem being, we can say like he or she, whoever's top tier, but then what is top tier? Because we do have, I feel like there's an established Holy Trinity in this game.
Yes. Okay, so I had to say tier list wise, like S plus is Lance, Gran, and Catalina, I would definitely say Fairy's probably there now. I'd definitely say those 4 are probably the best characters in the game free. I think like S tier would probably be like
Zeta now, definitely.
I think Zeta even before the buffs. I think Zeta was up there.
So we're not saying like goat tier with the rest of them. We're saying just
no, like she'll probably win the match.
I think Zeta's like the perfect character. I think she's like the cat. Like if you look at Grand Blue and you think like, hey, what's a character to play who like isn't too broken, isn't too bad, who's just like the balance is perfect on it. Like if they're gonna balance characters in Grand Blue, they should balance it around Zeta because honestly, she is like perfect. She's like, perfect balance. Right?
The only thing that's stopping her from being top tier, in my opinion, is the fact she doesn't have a DP. If she had a DP, like without a shadow of a doubt, she would be like top tier.
She has an arm move.
She has got armor
that
moves,
armor,
but...
that armor move is technically better than a DP in some situations.
Oh,
because
mate,
a DP
you haven't
DP
used
can
it.
be baited. No. The thing is that I for starters, I have used it, and also I've seen top Korean and Japanese Zeta players use it extremely well. For sure, it's not a DP, but a DP you can block on a safe jump. An armor you can't. If they do a safe jump and they jump into it or whatever, right? You can just hold it, and if they try and hit a button, you know what I mean? It's like it's a mix up. You're mixing them up on your wake up. You know what I mean? You have these options compared to just doing a DP. You know, like having an armor is different to a DP, yeah, because you can't just mash out blah blah blah. But like, it's still an option. And if you compare it to like Matera, who has nothing, she has nothing to wake up with. She got
a super, bro. She got super.
Super can be you can meet it and block. So I mean, like she has nothing. You know, like Zeta has options, and I think Zeta is like literally the perfectly balanced character in the game.
Well, it's just a matter of people moan that Fairy has a DP, right? So is it a case that we're moaning that Zeta has this thing? Because obviously Bebop's saying it's not really rating the armor thing that much. You're rating it quite highly. Like where is it good or is it not good? Because people
it's a reversal. It's
an option. It is a reversal. Like she can do it with invulnerability, quotation marks invulnerability. And if she does the EX version, it's a true armor move. If she hasn't got the move at all, if she doesn't commit to EX, she's kind of stuffed. Because obviously her light version is she deals with mediums and highs. Her medium version, it deals with lows. And obviously the EX version, it deals with everything. However, I have seen people get the timing down, like obviously through just pure lab. I'm not saying everyone can do it, and I'm not saying it's easy, but like you can pretty much, like if you've got Zeta and a hard knockdown, you can always just go for your pressure no matter what. But obviously, if you're dealing with a situation where someone gets a safe jump, they can actually bait out the arm move. If they do nothing, they get their turn back. If they commit to a button in the stance, she's actually punishable in. I would say 3 options, but online, not many people are going to deal with the airborne knee because then she's crossing them up and she might end up hitting them with a button anyway. So like 2 of the options are pretty much punishable as well in the corner.
Yeah, I mean for sure, like they're punishable in this and ever, but obviously it depends on when she throws out. That's the main thing, right? So obviously I'm going to want to go for my pressure or whatever. If I jump in and do this and I do that, and also if I just stand in front of you and I don't do anything, like. Yeah, I guess you could I mean, I guess in that sense, like everything's punishable, blah blah blah. But like that also means I just have to stand in front of you. I know, yeah, that makes sense. But like, are we gonna do that? Is anyone really gonna do? Is anyone gonna just jump and just wait? Because like, if you just wake up and don't do anything, you know, then you can just literally just wake up 2L, and I'm probably gonna get hit because I'm just there waiting in front of you. Or you can wake up throw, or just wake up super jump. You know what I mean? Like. If you there's options. The fact is it's still essentially a mix up. It's kind of like Lance's reversal. It's still a mix up.
Oh, that's mix. That's pure mix. I've seen that's some what the fact that that's a thing.
Yeah,
it's
wild.
It is
super wild.
The fact that you knock Lance down and you have to guess is honestly bonkers to me.
Yeah, that's wild. So when it comes to the patch that's coming, it's pretty much confirmed, right? We're getting a patch at the end of the month. What are we hoping? What are we hoping to see? Keep it realistic. What are we hoping to see? Are we looking for nerfs of the goat tier? Are we hoping for buffs so other characters can compete?
I think the balance is mostly okay. I feel like Ran, Catalina need to have their damage toned down. Not too much. Probably maybe to Jita's level. Jita's level even. They need to nerf it down just a tad because Jita doesn't do way too much damage, but she does pretty high damage. But I feel like they need to tweak it down a bit. Lancelot needs to have his 2D, so his sweep. That needs to be nerfed. It needs to be more punishable on block because there's no reason that should be safe half the time. They need to increase recovery frames on his fastball because there's no reason that you should guess right and you still get punished for trying to anti-air him and stuff like that. Because he can literally jump and do fastball and sweep and beat you for trying to anti-air. It's honestly crazy. Like there's zero. Pretty sure there's 0 frames of recovery when he lands. It's actually bonkers. It's super stupid. And also Lancelot needs. I feel like the character Lancelot just needs to have if he's gonna have all these tools, just take away 2 of them or something because he has way too many options. He has the wall jump, he has the high wall jump, he has the slide, he has Gorilla Blade, he has Wreckers that are plus, he has he has 5L that's cancelable from range. He has all these plus frame buttons. His 2H is super good. Like the character is just so good. He's just so good.
Yeah, he's busted. Watching gameplay of him, it's a matter of like, look, I'm gonna play my game. Good, best of luck dealing with it.
Well, yeah, it's you're basically playing a different game when you're playing against him. Also, I didn't even mention his reversal. Then his reversal. I have option selects on deck to beat his reversal, but as you know, Shaq, we know playing SF4 and whatnot. If someone just blocks your like safe jump or your jab, then your option select's gone. So now they can just mash whatever and just beat you, right? Or at least they can mash whatever without being scared of the option select. So like the fact that like he has a reversal in which you have to guess, like, and the worst part about it is like if you had to guess, okay, sure. But like if you had to guess and like he was minus, then fine. That's okay. That's cool. But the fact that he can do it and he can basically get a jump in on you for free when you knocked him down is absolutely crazy. I don't know why that's a thing.
He does bully just by being on the screen. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's important to keep in mind that it's more or less vanilla. You know, this is like the first iteration. This is kind of vanilla Grand Blue, essentially. So
well, yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like most of the character balance is completely fine across the cast. I think there's some things that need tweaking here and there. Like Fairy's 2D needs like I think there's just a few things in the game that just like don't make sense. Like there's like a lot of sweeps don't really make sense. Like Grand Sweep, the fact you can sweep into his Super Skybound art and is safe on block makes no sense to me. The fact that Fairy can basically just 2D all the time and is plus on whiff. I know it's a funny meme that everyone says all the time, but her sweep's actually plus on whiff. It makes no sense. You try and jump and you get DP'd. It's actually bonkers to me. Like the fact that Lancelot's sweep goes under fireballs, I guess is okay, but at least make it more punishable on block. Like the fact that Lancelot can jump off the wall at head height and overhead you and is basically unreactable. Like it's just a bunch of things in the game that need just look like just take a little look at it. You know, just take some looks.
I mean, take a look. I'm sure they will take a little look when it comes to the end of the month. So we'll look forward to that. The game looks fun. I enjoy watching it. Like I said, I can't play it right now. It gets my seal of approval. I'm looking forward to getting into it. I'm hoping it doesn't die by the time I actually want to play it.
It definitely will.
Nah, you'll be fine.
Okay, sweet. So in terms of the patch notes that came out, did anyone have like a weird time kind of understanding it when it came out? Because they were using a lot of like words and stuff. That was really confusing to me.
I mean, I just read the Evernote that someone used.
I read the Evernote too. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right then. Because I was trying to like.
Layman's terms.
Yeah, I was translating it on my phone, and it was just like it was a bit spaghetti. Some of the terms they were using.
Yeah, super scrap. There's like the Street Fighter 5 patch happened recently, whereas like we've increased the hitbox inward, and it's like what is that?
You know.
Yeah, and then this relates to the point where Tekken had their patch, and like their patch consisted of just like hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that was.
Yeah. Like. Yeah, it took Indiana Jones to send us a hot fix for that for the patch notes. Fucking, you know.
It was just like one of those weird ass like fonts that you can use on Word, where it's just.
I'm pretty sure they just write unknowns onto the screen.
Oh, someone dropped their DS and then all the unknowns spelled out, isn't it?
Literally. So I do want to get into this communication between the community and devs. When it comes to
I don't think we're ever going to get this.
When it comes to
we've had it. I'll go into it later.
I want to highlight that it's not all bad. Shout outs to Soul Calibur that seem to have really, really clear communication when it comes to patches. They do their patches, they make their changes with just a quick overview of the reasons why. You see this in bigger games. You see this with like League of Legends. You know, they may come out with a video or patch notes with explanation as to what they're trying to do. But Tekken, we're getting hieroglyphics and we're getting safer electrics and
almost Herman hell sweeps.
Yeah, almost full tracking hell sweeps and no explanation. Why?
Literally. I think that's the main thing, right? It's just no explanation. It's like it's okay if you're going to do these things, but at least like give us some insight as to why. Because it's one of these things where these buffs are like so stupid to the point where it's like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking? Why do these characters need that? Like, you could like some of the characters in the game are not unplayable, but they're just bad. Like Lars is bad. Like Gigas is bad. Katarina is bad now. Like these characters need some tweaks. Just a few things here and there. They'll be a bit better. But we're giving buffed electrics and hell sweeps.
It's what they get for winning a tournament. It's what they get. They shouldn't be winning tournaments. All right?
How
dare they? How dare they? How dare they win a tournament? Time to get gutted.
It's not even like, it's like, oh, we need communication because we've got good moves being buffed. It's not even just that, but it's like the characters and the moves that were buffed, quote unquote buffed or changed. It's like, that is such a random, because I was reading it and like, I was looking at my characters and I was like, I feel like this is just dartboard patching because like, so Zaf easily top 3 of the game, top tier, like best movement in the game, great whiff punishment, pretty safe on block. She can mitigate a lot of her options, great defense. She's got options at the wall, neutral. She hasn't really got a weak stage matchup, but she's untouched in the balance patch. Like they do nothing. But then, you've got like low tiers like, Katarina, who was pretty much like neutered so Leroy could have some tools and Falconram could have some tools. And then again, she's untouched. Like it's like what the hell? Like it's like you need communication because it's like I don't even know what the mindset was because at least say what you will about Street Fighter, at least you knew what the patch was. It was like, right, this is a shill patch. I can see what they're doing. That's fine. But like, what annoyed me with this patch was it wasn't necessarily the changes. I think I was more upset because I was just so confused. I was like, I don't understand the thinking behind this patch.
No one did.
It's like you want Tekken 5 electrics and hell sweeps, but you're not going to give us Tekken 5 movement. I mean, bruh, like that's like short end of the stick.
I mean, another thing, I was reading like the hieroglyphics because I was managing to like translate some of it, right? And I definitely double took and I was like, there's no way he buffed electrics. I was like, there's no way. There's no way he buffed electrics because why would they do that? And then it finally came out. I was like, why the hell have they buffed electrics? Why? What? Why remission was bad before? Like what?
Like it's just it's like this patch was so bad for the community because like obviously as you guys know we're all fighting game players and we're all on the internet, so as anyone should know, we're loud. Like if we don't like something, we say it on Twitter. It's just we're all like it. It's just how it is. So obviously straight away people are going, bro, you buffed electrics on whiff. What the hell? That was their only weakness. That like you had to try and make a guess on like you had to make a read on the electric, and you had to duck and punish it. And then you're like, no one's gonna be able to do that now. And then you see people like I saw Spiro Kicks do a video. I was like, guys, you can still launch punish it. What's the problem? You don't have to adapt. But then you see I can't remember his name. It wasn't it was Chikarin. Chikarin's playing online, bro, with Shaheen, and he can't even punish electric with Rising 3-3, which is 13 frames. Like on reaction. It's like, bro, this is like, top tier. This is like the cream of the crop of Tekken. And he can't even punish it. It's like, no one's going to be able to deal with that, especially in an online environment.
And nobody asked for these changes. Like no pro player, no like kind of Kazuya mains. Because I remember seeing a tweet from Fergus to Michael Murray in response to all this kind of like Michael Murray backlash and stuff. And even he said, like, look, you ask players. This is how I interpreted it. So the devs are asking pro players what kind of changes would be good, like for your characters. What would be ideal? And it seems like they've given them ideas. And then they've ended up with this. So are they using kind of top players to help mold their characters? Are they just doing their own thing? If so, why are they even asking? And there's just such little. The only explanation we got was what was it that Michael Murray said? Like, oh, why
just block, bro? Pretty much, just block.
Yeah.
Like word for word, he said. Yeah, but for word, what he actually said was, I don't understand why you would want to sidewalk a move when you can block and launch it. And obviously, straight away, the community lost its mind. Obviously, all the Kaz players like, yeah, hell sweep's hella punishable on block. Everyone else was like, bro, you were full of shit. It's like, because the thing is, sidewalking in itself was risky, because at the end of the day, you open yourself up to being electric, but you hedged your bets. The only thing that could beat you in that situation was an electric. Yeah. So you would have to condition a Kaz player to like mix up his offense. He'd have to like play not honest, but you had you weren't helpless. Like if you ate a flash punch, 10 frame knockdown, one of the best moves in the game. You had options with certain characters. You could get up and sidewalk. You weren't defenseless. Now you're pretty much defenseless if you ain't playing Zaf or Lily. Like in that matchup, you were in the mix. No matter what you do, he can do whatever the hell he likes.
Mind you, isn't this an electric that had buff tracking?
It had buff tracking.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the electric's been buffed like 4 times now.
They've buffed tracking. They buffed the hitbox. They've made the combos easier. Like Kaz's buff at season 3 was his new move makes electric combos much more optimal. Yeah. You know, and he's got more war carry and is more consistent. So you can tell, like, there's a lot of favoritism to Kaz. There's definitely a lot of favoritism to Kaz. And you know,
he's still not a good character. That's the funny thing. It seems like they're trying to buff him forever. He's still not.
That is the thing. He's not like the changes were pointless, but they were I want to say minute, but it was just pointless. Like
the changes were pretty irrelevant. Like let's be honest. Like if you look at the changes, if you look at the changes, like what, like there's not really anything there. You know what I mean? There's not like you expect when you hear a balance change, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Things are going to change. Top tiers are going to get nerfed. Blah blah blah. But like, there's not really anything there. It's like,
I mean, there are, but I mean, Howrang definitely got buffed.
Oh yeah,
my man got buffed.
Like
that's what I mean. There's like two characters who got a bunch of changes. Like I know Lei did Lei get a bunch of things?
No, like to be honest, the only thing they really gave him is a 10-frame punish. That's about it. And
we take those.
Well, we take it, but that was about it. But like, don't even get me started on Lei's changes. It's like, oh, you know, Lei, you know, middle tier character, you know, he really struggles in terms of like, you know, closing the gap, getting his initiative going. You know, he's a turtle character. How do we buff him? I got the perfect buff for you, right? Dragon 3 is no longer launch punishable on block. Yes.
I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what that move is. But...
like what the fuck? It's like I'm still mad.
Yeah, I can tell.
I'll take it, but...
Just about how angry you are. I imagine it's not a good buff, but I have no idea what move that move is. I don't even know what Dragon Stance.
It's like right. So like Dragon Stance 3, right? He goes into Dragon and he does like a little whip kick, like with his feet, right? It's quote unquote good because it's consistent at hitting people grounded and it has decent tracking.
I think I know what you're on about.
Like it hits grounded and like it's got decent tracking, like so. But you know it's minus 15, and honestly, this tinfoil hat in the Lei community, it's not a buff, it's a fix because people were so confused as to why. Because like Dragon 3 in Tag 2 was minus 15 because he could go into Panther, and Panther is like one of his best stances. You know, I'm not going to explain all of his stances. We'll be here till fucking next week. You know, we ain't got that time.
That'll be for another episode.
Yeah, but take my word for it. Like, Panther's a really good stance. And if he did Dragon 3 into it, you were in the schmicks. Because he's crouching, essentially. So you had to know he was going for it. But now he goes into Crane, and he can't block in that stance. So, you know, it just fucking... It really confuses me. Like, you know, it's great if you want to go into Dragon for Oki. Oh, I want to hit them if they're staying on the ground. Fine. Cool. But, you know, in that situation, most people aren't going to get up and duck it. You know, they're hedging their bets. They don't want to be wall splattered. So I just feel like there's a lot of changes being made for the sake of making changes. And fucking, right? People talking about Kaz being the winner of the patch. Bro, Lei is the winner of the fucking patch, let me tell you. Right? Now, you guys may know the move, you may not, right? Lei's back 4, right? He steps back. It's a counter hit launcher. It's punishable, but like it's practically safe. He can cancel the stance and block it. And they fucking made it recover quicker. What the? Like, serious? Like, you know, people talk about panic buying in the COVID crisis. They panic smoked all the crack when they made this patch.
Definitely.
Like, I'm telling you.
Honestly, I don't know. They just pick characters and we're just like, all right, what we got here? They did like Jeopardy or something. Like, what's the game show where you have to pick like categories and stuff? Like, they just did that. Like, they had like.
You just named every game show that ever existed.
I mean, there's like, okay, all right, no, you know what I mean, though, right? So like, they just listed out all the moves, and they were just like, all right, let's throw a dart, and wherever it lands, it'll land on that category, and we'll just make a tweak here. That's what we did. We just do this to each move, and we just go from there. And they picked characters out of the hat, and just threw darts. We're like, yeah, we'll change that. We'll change that.
Oh, so that's the heel kick. So the heel kick.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
that's more. Jeez.
Yeah, they buffed an already good key move. It's like, why?
Yeah, but he's a bad character, right?
No, well, you know, Bernie is like, you know, I would never admit this to his face, but he's the best Lei I know. And like he says the biggest lie any Lei player has said is that Lei is low tier. Lei is not low tier. Like, he's got to work for his damage, yeah. But if you like got the right mindset and methodical play and you understand the character and the matchup, Like, Lee can pretty much do, like, whatever the hell he wants in the matchup. Like, you know, people meme, oh, but he doesn't know what plus frames are. It's like, you know, you don't always need plus frames.
It's the
like,
same for your Marduk, but Marduk can fight fine. You know?
Like,
so this is the same move. This is the same move as Akuma, right? But Akuma's got his like nerfed, so it doesn't like bounce.
It's inconsistent. Yeah, it's
why did he even nerf that? Like, it's like
that was dumb. That one was dumb.
No, fair, it makes sense that they nerfed it, but like, why now? Like, it just seems so straight. Like, it's just like, what? Why not? Like, why now? Why?
Well, they nerf that and leave down 3 untouched. What the fuck? It's like, this is what I mean. Like, they're looking at kind of dangerous moves and making them better or worse, and then you got like the really dangerous moves, and they're not even giving them a second thought. Like, it's so. This is why communication is so important. Because at least if it was like, right, we buffed Lee's back 4 because we want him to be a bit more defensively orientated, and this is a way to encourage people to do that. Fine. Like, I'm still not going to like the change, but I understand where they're coming from.
It's the same thing. Look. We go back to the old ultra videos, right? Yun struggled to get in, so he buffed his EX lunge punch to make it +1. Like, at least they told us. At least they told us.
Even though it was like the dumb, even though it was the dumbest thing that we ever heard. Yun buffs and Akuma buffs from.
He struggled to get in.
At least Peter Conley Rosas actually gave us an explanation. Like, it's whack, but fair enough. Like, it's whack, but
that's what I'm
letting us know.
Because, like, didn't you accept it, though? Didn't you think, yeah, like you said, you're like, it's whack, but thanks for letting us know. Like, because at least then, you know, it's like, you might think, oh my god, you just rolled a joint when you made that buff, bro. But, like, you know, at least, like, you understood the thought that was going through his stoned head.
I mean, I didn't understand the thought at all, but at least he told us. You know?
Yeah, I'd rather just be told, rather than getting a web page full of hieroglyphics.
No, you got to decipher it to find out if your character's trash or not now.
Yeah.
The character names were there, right? At least
the character names were there. It was the notations that were fun.
I was going to say, if we had to work out the character names as well, like, you just like, wait, hold it on. What the?
Yeah, it was whack. So how hard is it? And how hard is it, right? Because obviously communication is clearly an issue. We're looking at Tekken specifically. We'll talk about Tekken specifically because Street Fighter is not great, but it's not as bad as what Tekken is right now. How hard is it to just hire someone to tweet to the fans?
Right.
And not even to the devs, because not being funny, the devs are probably chilling in their basement doing their thing, and they're probably not used to communicating with people anyway.
Well, yeah, that's the issue. Even if you have someone to tweet out all this stuff, they still have the issue where they need to talk to the devs to get their input and then relay that input, right? It's a communication across the board. It's not just like, it's not, I don't think it's like anyone's fault. I mean, it is.
It is. It definitely is.
There's a bunch of bridges there, right? There's a bunch of bridges that need to be crossed, and like everything, they need to just clear these bridges and be able to have these, you know, have all this stuff flowing. But it's just not like that.
If we're going to talk about it's 2 bridges. It's from devs to the guy, the social media guy, the guy that speaks to the community. What would be the title be called?
The Ono or the Harada, you know, like it's just your face man, isn't it? You know,
you just need a face man, just like, and from the face man to the Twitter,
the face man department,
the face man to the Twitters and to the Reddits, and then job's done. And just give us some explanation. Community manager, thank you, Jack. Community manager. That's all.
I prefer face man, bro.
Face man. yeah. So, but how hard is it? Just pay someone to do that job.
It's
clearly Michael Murray is incapable.
Okay,
that might not be in his job description, which is fine. But like, he clearly is not doing a good job.
Yeah, they also can't even pay someone to make a netcode. So I mean,
but like,
I would do it. Pay me £9, £10 an hour.
But you know that the thing is, it's not hard to hire someone to do it. But this is you don't need to hire someone to do it. All you need is the balance team to just basically. So they give the patch notes to the dev, like, so the balance team gives it to the lead dev or like the lead fight program, whatever the hell pseudo title they got these days. And then they give them the patch notes, don't they? And then they just hand that out throughout the branch, and it gets set out as a patch note. All they need to do is, when they hand that patch note over to the lead dev, is that there's a box saying, this is why we did this. and they just have to raw translate it. They don't even need to hire someone to like explain it in a fancy way for us wastemen to understand. Just put it out there, and someone who's smart enough among us will figure out where they're coming from. You know, we might or might not like it, but at least it's transparency. Like, you know, KI did it. Transparency is hella key because, like, you know, KI did it, Soul Calibur did it. Like, the thing is, Soul Calibur was really good because they made a lot of nerfs. Like, and obviously, because if you look at it like, oh, nerfs are bad. But the thing is, like, with Geralt, they nerfed his parry. And some people, like myself included, was really happy for that because parry was killing us in neutral because it was just too good to not use, and you open yourself up for damage. It's like, you know, it forced you to play a lot more honest, which is what Geralt was good at. Yeah. You know, like, so sometimes, like, nerfs are good, but you need to explain it, like, that way. You know, it's just, it's always really frustrating, and it's why it gets my hackles up, because I feel like that's all they need to do. Like, I don't know, I don't work in a game studio. For all I know, maybe they gotta write the patch notes on walls of concrete in their blood. I don't know how hard it is, and like maybe that's why they can't do it.
I think the fact is, it's not hard, man. It's how
I think it's so essential in fighting games specifically because, like, obviously other games have these patch notes and all these changes, blah blah blah. But it's so essential in fighting games because when you play a fighting game, or at least for most people, you have a main. You have this character you've played for 2, maybe 4, maybe 10, maybe 20 years, right? And then they just make all these changes, and then you're left there like, what? Like, and it might be buffs, it might be nerfs or whatever, but it's just like, why did they do this to my? You know what I mean? This is my instrument. You know what I mean? This is literally like my instrument. Why did they do this to them? You know, in other games, like, they can nerf your gun or whatever, just change gun. They nerf your hero, change to a different hero or whatever, right? But this, it's like, that's your boy, your girl. You know what I mean? Like, that's your thing. For them to change it so drastically, sometimes it's like, what, like, yeah, you can just change. I guess you could just change to pick another character. But like, fighting games are different in the sense of, like, you get attached to your character, right? That's how it is.
Yeah. And to widen the perspective, for some people, this is their kind of livelihood, right? So when you're making these changes, you know, you get these pro players that have just committed to just playing, and that's their income and that's their livelihood. This is their job. You can't be making random changes to somebody's work, to somebody's, like, how they're getting their earnings, right? So you can't be chilling, playing your character. Say that you've just won Evo. You just won Evo for Tekken. And because you've won Evo Tekken, your character is now gutted. That's not a good enough explanation for why a character wins one tournament.
I mean, it is the biggest sort of, but yeah, I mean, obviously that doesn't sort of correlate to them completely gutting the character.
I think you can't be making big changes. In the day of esports, and there's a lot of money involved too. I feel like you can't just be making just willy-nilly changes anymore.
Well, I feel like fortunately with this Tekken patch, it was before the season, right? It was before the Tekken World Tour was supposed to happen, so it was a pretty good timing. So if tournaments did happen and things were a bit broken, they could maybe tweak in a few things here and there. But even then, still, the patch is complete shit. Let's be honest, it's miserable. It's just terrible.
But, like, you know, you bringing up, like, the whole, like, you know, people's livelihoods and, like, you know, like, characters being changed like crazy. You know, like, you say that, like, today Kokoma tweeted, like, he's done with Tekken. Like, you know, he's like on the verge of a mental breakdown. Like, he's saying he can't be playing rock, paper, scissors anymore. You know, he's trying to make a livelihood because, you know, it was a game he enjoyed. It was a game he was good at. It was a game he mastered, you know, and he wanted to take it further. And he doesn't even want to do that anymore. Like, you know, like, imagine, you know, because we're not pros, we don't know what it's like. But imagine, right, you pick this one game, like, this is my livelihood. I want to play this as a career. And then eventually it's made to be so unfun that you just don't even care anymore. The amount of hard work you put into it, it's like, it ain't even worth it, bro. It's like all the good experiences you had, you're just like, gone. It's like, you know,
I remember seeing Arslan made a tweet about it where he said, I think this was just after they made the balance patch, and he was just like, he said himself, he's like, I just don't understand why he's making these changes. It just seems like they see, like, some of the top tiers and they just, like, nerf them. Like, it just, look, oh my god, I'm stuck in a loop. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
He says, I got it. He literally says, like you said, I don't understand the purpose of these patch notes. As in the eyes of many pro Tekken players and myself, the buffs and nerfs that are needed are not being done. And I do wonder, is it the fact that the pro tours at a standstill and there's nothing really going on? Are they being a bit more just whatever about changes? Are they just is this kind of a testing?
But yeah, another thing, once again, about communication. It's been how long since the patch? We've not heard like anything. I mean, Murray said like, well, we're looking into it, but like we're looking into it doesn't mean anything. Let's be honest.
To be honest, I think like I think I got faith they're looking into it because a lot of devs these days, they can't take flack like that and do nothing because they got to save face. But I do feel like it was like a panic move thing to say like, oh, we're looking at it. But this brings it back to like, clarity isn't just important. Like you need clarity, obviously, but I think it's hell of a lot more important to have a good attitude when you're delivering or like justifying your changes. Because obviously coming out saying, I know he did it in a professional way, but saying just block bro is not a healthy thing to say.
Well, I mean,
when people are hella annoyed.
Even then, like at least if you're gonna say something like that, like at least make it sound like you know what the hell you're talking about. Because when he said that, like it's one of his things where like like if you read that statement, like on paper it makes sense, but at the same time, like what the hell are you talking about, bro?
Like that's literally like these like scrubby quotes Twitter accounts that literally looks like something you would find.
He was added to scrubby quotes by a few people. I'm pretty sure he made it.
Yeah, it's not what you want to say. It's really not.
But like bad patch aside, I still felt like this whole situation was totally avoidable. Like to be fair, like, so I'm going to come at it unbiased as possible. One of us has got to be professional, like out of the three of us. So, like,
that ain't me.
Oh, well, I already knew that, guys. Thanks for telling me what I already knew, like, is, like, look at Murray, right? So, like, put yourself in the shoes of Murray. So, I'm assuming he knows the game, but I don't think he understands why people like it.
Yeah, to be fair, I can't sidestep, so yeah, I'm basically that.
This fucking guy. Like, so, he's, so like, he's like, all right, so I'm trusting my balance team because I'm assuming if you're on a balance team, I'm giving them benefit of the doubt here. I understand that. I'm giving them an inch when they're probably taking a mile. Mm-hmm. If you're on a balance team, I'm assuming they know the game. I'm assuming there's communication. Like they know what they're doing ish, mm-hmm. or at least they understand what they're doing, like what the changes, like obviously if they're making something recover quicker, they know they're buffing it. That's what I mean. I'm not saying they understand the ramifications, but they understand if they're buffing or nerfing is what I'm saying. And like I think there was a lot of direction with it, but so like I can understand Murray's got to be like, right, I got to trust these dudes to like deliver. Patch comes out, they send it, no one likes it. Now, in fairness, he did what any good leader should do in that case. The moment people started hammering the patch, he defended his team. He said, look, I trust my balance team. And to be fair, that's a great thing to do. It's something you should see from like people who are in like, leadership positions like Murray, Harada, not so much Ono these days. But like, people who are like the face of the game, or like, in these positions where like they regard it quite highly, they should be sticking up for, the people who are making the changes. He could have done a better job of it. He could have said, I trust my team. They made the right changes, but, we'll consult and we'll get back to you. I think there was a way he could have, he could have done, he could have been better in damage control and he could have saved face for the company. I think it was a way to do both. But
I think he just let it get to him, right? He just let all the stuff get to him, which you really can't let happen to you in a position like that. I feel like
no,
I don't know why you're gonna get bothered by what these random. I mean, he said it himself. These random dumb trolls on the internet, blah blah blah. But it's like you can say that now, but weren't you the one literally posting this and that on Twitter and then saying, like swearing and stuff out on your stream and saying, like, what I mean, like. You can call them dumb trolls, but they're not dumb trolls if they're literally succeeding in what they're trying to do.
And it literally got to the point where he was like, he literally said on stream, if anyone clips this, you're getting banned. So like, the man was rattled. You can talk about trolls this, trolls that, but he was clearly rattled.
Yeah.
But it begs the question, right? You're giving him the kind of like the benefit of the doubt and stuff, like backing his team. But what's more important, to comply with the community that is playing your game, that is giving your game this platform, that's giving all the sales and all those players playing,
or your boss,
or your boss and your team that may have made a mistake? What's more? What are you looking to?
Your job or the love of the people?
Well,
not so much.
You say it like it's a meme, but that's actually a really fucking tough question. That's a really tough question.
That's the thing. Like, is it either are you just going to be like, oh, all these guys are probably just chatting rubbish? Mind you, some of these guys are professionals. The pros are even saying this is whack. This isn't just the online, I don't know, the online role players in yellow ranks are being, this doesn't make sense, considering they probably don't even know how to sidestep. These are like everyone. Everyone is saying this is ass. Now, are you going to take that on board and actually be like, oh, maybe it's whack? Or are you really going to be like, we stand by this? I stand by the dude that made this decision. Albeit he might have been pissed last night, pissed the day of the freaking the changes that were made.
I'm pretty sure like Japanese devs and stuff like that just literally live in an isolated island in the middle of nowhere. Like, you know, that island they go to in like Harry Potter, right? I'm pretty sure they just live on there and they just don't hear any. I don't think he watched tournaments. I don't. No. I mean,
What the fuck?
I mean, in the first one where he. Oh, look, let's not go to it. Whatever.
Damn. Podcast tilt, bruh.
They go to like. Oh, I'm lost. No. Actually, I've lost it.
No. I know what you're saying. Basically, like there's a lot of pride and it's very stubborn.
It's like they don't watch tournaments, or it looks like they don't play the game. I don't get it.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you. Because how hard is it to look at a tournament, a huge tournament, Evo Japan, Tekken World Tour Finals, whatever? How can you not just look and be like, that character is using that move a lot, and it's working a lot.
Yeah, it's working a lot.
Really good. This looks really good. Let me just like mark this down, and we'll have a look at it in the lab.
Yeah, mark it down.
Like, let me say
this to someone who knows more about
it. Yeah.
Tell us, bro.
Well, no. I was letting that go to you. No.
I was gonna say,
damn, it's the hot potato of a question. It's like no one wants it. It's like shit.
Like the question, you take it.
Right. All right. I'm gonna risk it. So the thing is, like, I will say this, right? So I'm gonna take what Dawn Yeager said. So Jono, right? Obviously, Jono has really strong opinions about any game, like especially Tekken, because he's so passionate about it. He's good at the game. He understands it. And like, I don't always agree with what he says, but I will say he's onto something when he said it. Like, he said straight up, like word for word, he said, I honestly think Tekken was just a happy accident. And I'm kind of believing it. Because like a lot of the changes that's been made to Tekken 7 throughout its lifespan is like, do you want people to hate your game? Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense in a business sense. It doesn't make sense like in a PR approach. Like, you know, you're pissing everyone off, even the shareholders, because no one wants to buy your game.
It's like a good point as well, because think about it. This is at least for me, this is the first Tekken game I've seen become like, well, obviously this big and this, you know, got this many players and stuff. I'm not sure if previous Tekkens were patched like this. Maybe this is even a weird thing. Maybe this is just like how they do balance Tekkens, and I'm just comparing their balancing to other fighting games. But like, yeah, it just seems it's so out of field. It's out of pocket, man. Like,
this is a bad turn. It's a bad turn.
It's definitely the low point of Seven's longevity. Honestly, it's quite rough. It's divided the community. I think that's the bit that's got everyone in pieces at the moment. Well, at least me. Because, you know, you've got, like, a lot of personalities who, like, you know, people are like, oh, they're shilling, or they're defending Murray, or they're defending their friends. I know. And there's some people, like, you know, tweeting out, like, because, like, Rip tweeted out saying, I don't understand why everyone's so negative. Like, he wasn't saying it, like, he didn't say, you know, the balance isn't trash. He just said, I don't understand why everyone's so torn up. Like, you know, he didn't word it correctly, but he should have said, like, you know, we can all adapt. We just got to, like, deal with it together as a community. And people took it the wrong way. And then people, like, you know, were saying, oh, so what? So you think that's a good change? Or you think home in hell sweeps is a good thing? And then, you know, eventually, like, you know, Rip started being on damage control because he was put that way. But, but Rip's not like that as, like, you know, as a community, you know, idol. He's very much like, he just wants the community to come together and play some good ass Tekken, and he doesn't want the community to be fractured because he knows what it's like in Tag 2. No one played the fucking game.
Problem is, Twitter and the internet as a whole love a witch hunt. They do love a witch hunt. They're quick to pull out the pitchforks and the torches and just run amok, go ham. And when they have the opportunity, they're gonna do that. But it just seems like in this case, even the pros have got the torches out and stuff. Even the competent players, you know, the ones that you don't really expect to get behind the witch hunt. Not to say that they are witch hunting by any means. It's normally just the trolls and stuff online. But even they're saying, look, this is kind of whack.
I honestly think it just happened at a bad time. I think if this patch happened and we didn't have this whole COVID-19 stuff happening and tournament season was still happening, I feel like a lot of this flack and stuff wouldn't be as big as what it is. But it's just because because this patch has happened and we all have to sit indoors and we all have to play online, and the netcode is complete trash in conjunction with this patch that didn't buff any of the characters or whatever. Like it all just adds together, right? And it's just not what we want. It's not what we want.
I don't know, man. When you say it'd be worse if like tournaments were coming up and this patch came out and this is to be played on, because I would say that when it came to this is.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe I feel like maybe it would be, but at the same time, I feel like I just feel like because everyone has to sit indoors playing online, especially with these changes and all this sort of stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like it just adds to it. I feel like it just adds to. Like, I feel like if it's just a bad patch, then cool, whatever, it just happens, right?
Yeah.
But because it's a bad patch and we have to play online, and like because the netcode's so bad, and like people already don't like the game because they don't want to play it because of the netcode. Then you add in the fact that this patch happened, and people, you know what I mean? Like people already don't want to play the game because of the netcode, right? And now people don't want to play the game even more because this is the patch that he gave us. You know what I mean? Like I stopped playing second enemies because the netcode was trash. And then he gave us this patch, and I was thinking like, hey, maybe one of my characters gonna get buffed. Maybe I come back into the game. They give us this patch, and now I'm basically done with second at this point. I don't want to play the game really. There's no point for me playing the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one thing that definitely doesn't help the whole negative energy in the second community is definitely the Leroy issue that came about earlier prior to this. I'm thinking, how do you go from coming up with Leroy, who was, he was busted. This character he had everything. He looked sick. Everyone was hyped for this character, right? It's this old kind of black dude on some kind of Ip Man thing. It was sick, and then he just runs amok. The man is just
the character was obviously busted.
But like he was made that way.
He was busted. He was like, it was Evo Japan ended up, what was it, 6, 7 Leroys in top 8.
There was 6, yeah.
It was ridiculous. How do you go from that? And then when it comes to Fakram Ram, people are happy with it. People are, like, yeah, this character looks good. But he's super interesting and he's not totally busted. Yeah, people aren't saying, well, this might change. But I don't know how you go from making, Fakram Ram, he seems pretty good. Seems pretty balanced. Seems like they actually thought about it when making it. And then Leroy, which is like completely busted. Like, are they just not taking care when it comes to making these characters? Are we the test bunnies when they just bring it out? Do they not really care?
I mean, apparently not. Well, they don't even care about what we do, apparently, because if you look at this last patch, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you're onto something else about the community being the fucking QA testers, because Fakram Ram ain't even finished, if you ask me. Bro, man has no fucking hitboxes. He's got no hurt boxes. Like, at the wall, you phase through him. Lei has a setup for him because he can walk through him. It's like, why? Like, we've reached a new meta where, like, the character's busted. So, you know what? I'm just going to come up with this crazy fucking setup that he may or may not know about. Bam, dead. It's like, why? Why am I using the fact that they haven't finished a character to my advantage? It's weird. Like, and the direction of like all the balancing as well, because like when they made Leroy and Fakram Ram, you can see that like the points where we want good characters, right? How are we gonna get them? Good movement? No. Good punishment? No. Oh, I know, crazy mix and crazy damage, and that's basically what it is. Like, not that Fakram Ram and Leroy's punishment isn't good, but that wasn't the focus of making those characters. It was focused on mix and damage. That was it, and I think that's where a lot of people are starting to get burnt out with the game, because you're playing different characters, but you're in the same scenarios no matter who you play against. It's just you defend a little bit more differently, or the matchup isn't as in your favor, or it's a bit more in your favor. But the situation still stands. You make a mistake, you're dead. It's not fun.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a change in dynamic when it comes to like just tech and play. We're seeing a lot more. They're really like going with the 50-50s, because Fakram Ram is just better 50-50s. We're seeing Kazuya buffs, which is increasing the situation of 50-50s. no one likes 50-50s, man. You can't be pushing the 50-50s.
Well, the lay player will disagree, bro. But,
well, it's all good doing the 50-50s.
But no, but you're right though. Like, you know, because I want to play clean eventually. I don't want to gimmick people to death because that's not how you get better. You know, it's like
I do.
At least, man.
Have you seen my Marduk? I play him like a mission, man.
It's nice stuff. But guys, I think we'll close it here. I mean, it's been way longer than I expected. But no, a good hour and a half of solid content, if I do say so myself.
And an hour and a half of bashing online.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I like to think we were a bit constructive anyway. They can listen. The devs can listen to this, and and apply what they see fit.
I don't think the devs listen to each other, honestly.
Don't listen to this podcast, though, for sure.
In case you do, please don't ban me, Murray-san. And don't nerf Lay.
I do want to say, I would like to say, I feel like the slack on Murray was a bit harsh. I mean, I think
I think he did have it harsh because, like, you know, like I do like Murray. Like, you know, I was really hopeful when he took over, but you know, like it's at the end of the day, you know, both sides are at fault. Like, you know, the 100%. Community gave it to him 110%. He didn't take it well, and like now everyone's unhappy. But you know, that's just the situation we're in. You know.
For sure. I think, like, you know, we're in a relation. It's like a relationship with the devs. You know, I think like it's just a bit of a breakup between the community and the devs. But I think we just need to kiss and make up, take Tekken in the right direction together as well.
This sounds like a hella toxic environment.
It is. You have no idea.
But at the end of the day, but this is the thing. At the end of the day, community and devs, we need each other.
We do.
So it's about time we just get back together. Go for a Nando's, talk it out when the corona is all done, and to take Tekken in the right direction, a direction that everyone wants. They want players to play the game. We want to play the game. We all want the same thing, right?
I honestly do want to play I really want to get back into the game, but because the online at the moment is just really bad. But and the patch left this sour spot on my mouth. I really just don't want to play the game. And I got Granblue, so.
Like, but you want that kind of approach for every game. You want to love every game you play. Like, no one wants to pick up a game and think, oh my god, you know, this game is toxic. Like, no one wants that. You know, everyone wants to pick it up. You know, and if it weren't for fighting games, lads, we wouldn't even be here. You know, like
100%.
Because good fighting games build community. You know, 100%. It's the most important letter of the FGC.
Like SF4.
Exactly. There ain't no com without unity, and unity is what
SF4 the best fighting game, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know, bros.
I don't agree.
Absolutely. We don't want to remember Tekken as that Tekken that was completely busted.
Oh no, bro! I'm talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Come on,
Poggers. All right. Well, we'll end the thing here. I had a lot of fun with this, so this is something that I definitely want to do on a regular basis. It was a good chat with the boys. I want to thank my boys, Greavers and Bebop, for joining me tonight.
Hi, thanks for having us.
And yeah, shout out to the viewers, man. It's been a lot of fun. Give us some feedback, what you think, what you like, what you didn't like, and we'll catch you guys hopefully same time next week. So peace out.
Yeah, see you.
Cheers.
Yeah, catch you later.